Hello everyone. Today we will have our first lecture in structural design class, which is the fundamentals of structural design. Will be presented by me. My name is Ali. I'm assistant lecturer in Middle Technical University, and we will start now. The objective of this lecture is to understand the core structural design principles and the characteristics. Regarding the behavioral objectives, at the end of this lecture, you will be able to list the structural function, characteristics, system and subsystem elements, explain force versus loads, and name tension, compression, and shear. Also, identify beams and columns. And we have in the agenda primary function of structures, characteristics of structures, structural systems, forces and loads, and conclusion. The primary function of the structure is to support and transmit the loads to the ground. I'll present to you a video showing how the loads transmit through the structural members to the ground. Here we can see an object applied to a structure. We can see the loads transmitting from this object to the beams and from the beams through the columns to the ground. Here we have three characteristics of structure, starting with strength, which is the capacity to carry the loads. Stability is the stability to keep them from falling over. And regarding the economic value depends on the chosen structural system and the, the material. For the economic value, it's really important not to over-engineer projects, meaning if you have, you can do a structure that would withstand anything, but the cost will be very, very expensive. Structural subsystems components. Roof, floors, foundations, walls, framings are all subsystem components, and they have to be designed by structural engineer because they work together with the basic system components to provide a strong, stable structure. And for the structural basic system components, we'll start with the beams. The beams are horizontal elements that carrying transverse loads. You can see here on this graph a beam subjected to a load and it's bended on the center, making the top fibers of the beam in compression and on the bottom in tension. We have a different scenario with a different type of beams called cantilever beam, which is supported at one end. And here we'll have the tension on the top and compression on the bottom. Here we have another structural basic system components called columns. It is a vertical element carrying compressive forces. And you can see here on this image, here's the column, here's the compressive force coming from the beam. Forces and loads. Force is an action causing a change in shape or motion. Load is a force supported by structural elements. Here we have a video showing the behavior of structural member under different types of loads. We can see here in tension is pulling apart, in compression is pressing, Bending, sideways movement, torsion is a squeezing, shear is a sliding effect, also buckling is a sideways movement. For the conclusion, we have three fundamental rules. The structure have to support, all the loads have to be stable under them and have to be economical. And choosing the system, the structural system, and the materials suitable for that project, meaning do not use military standards on residential projects. I have here a simple assignment for you. Describe what will happen when a load applied to a beam. And you can use YouTube to do a search and to understand this topic. And you can send me your answers to my email that you can see here. For the next time, we will learn about trusses, arches, bolts, and domes. Thank you for your watching. See you next time.